part 4 because I keep getting fucking interrupted by people. So we're going to make this the 4th and final video, which I'm going to try to make incredibly fucking short because apparently today is the day that everybody wants to be a douchebag full of dick tips. And most of them go to church. Okay, so where was I? You going to church and you causing problems. You supposed to be a preacher and you raping altar boys. You supposed to be a priest and you raping altar boys. You're in a Catholic church and you causing problems. Or any church. Catholic was the one that was most recently in the news, though, for those who actually pay attention to things outside of the dumb shit that Donald Trump is doing. So while all you motherfuckers out here that's going to church, talking all this bullshit, and being unfruitful, and causing problems, you're the ones that these 4 videos are aimed at. People who swear by God, but don't do by God. I know 4 of the 10 commandments. Only 4. I ain't gonna lie about it. I know 4. Hell, it might only be 3. But I know it's 10 of them motherfuckers. And out of the 10, I know 4 that I try my best to live by. I can't say I have sent by one of those 4, which was don't commit adultery. The problem is, I'm not married. So I wasn't committing adultery. I was insisting in the committing of adultery. I probably slept with some married women. I don't really know. But anyway, I own it. There's no ring on this finger. I've never been married. Wanted to be married, that didn't work out. Now, thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not commit adultery. And the most important one, which I think is the first commandment, thou shalt have no God before me. And if you got that one, then that's the main one that you need. Thou shalt not have no God before me. And if you can't follow, thou shalt not have no God before me, then you're living with the 7 deadly sins. And I don't know any of them. I ain't gonna lie. I don't remember them. I don't know them. I don't give a flying fuck. But I will tell you this. If thou shalt have no God before me, then don't you think you ought to do what God wants you to do? See, if you go into church and you causing problems for everyone else who's in your life, out your life, somewhere in your life that cause some problems down the road, you are not a person of God. You are a fucking charlatan, a heathen, or whatever the host of the biblical version of you're just an all-around bad person is. And you're sinning in church? You're sinning in church? Hell, I sin everywhere. But I own my shit. Yeah, I cuss all the time. That's my main sin. Every time I open up my mouth, I sin. I have to beg for forgiveness every time I open up my mouth. But I own that shit. I don't sit here and go around causing problems for people. I don't do that shit. Generally, people cause problems for me. And generally, those people swear by the life of the gods above that they believe in God. If you believe in God and you're causing problems for other people, then you do not believe in God. You just believe in some bullshit that you think is right when you know that it's wrong. Here's the thing about going to church. You're supposed to live at the top of the mountain. You're supposed to set the bar for everybody at the bottom of the mountain to achieve, to reach that heavenly glory. But how can we reach heavenly glory if the people who are living up there are fucking our children? Excuse me. Raping our children. Raping our minds. Some of you are raping our wallets. Some of you are doing things that you should not be doing, and you call yourself a person of God. How fucking dare you? Jesus don't discriminate. Jesus don't hate no one, because Jesus himself is supposed to be the lead to God through love of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. If you causing problems in people in life, you ain't doing none of that shit that Jesus would do. If you causing your ex-girlfriend problems, you not doing what Jesus would do. If you causing your ex-husband problems, you ain't doing what Jesus would do. If you causing your wife problems, ex-wife, you not doing what Jesus would do, which was the whole point of the 3 videos before this. How can you be a person of the God, the Holy Spirit, the Holy Trinity, or any other thing that they preach to you in church, and go out of church that same day and start making a clusterfuck until the next Sunday comes? That's right, I said it, a clusterfuck until the next Sunday comes. Every time you do something evil, you ain't doing God's work. If you using God's work and doing evil and pretending that you doing God's work, you a fucking charlatan. You're a harlot. And just like me, an honest man, you will be in that line at final judgment, which is that borderline between purgatory and hell. Because you ain't gonna make it to heaven. Because God is marking all that shit down. Every time you do something that involves someone else, that you are causing them some kind of piss off misery, grief, hate, and suffering. For every person that you have made suffer, you will suffer. Because you have to pay your penance. You have to pay it before you can make it through those pearly gates. And you ain't got to believe me. People have come back from hell. Some kids have come back from heaven. They wrote books about it. You can go read that shit. I'm not going to contest it because I've never died and came back. I can't say the kid is lying. I can't say the grown person is lying, but I can tell you this. Many things are impossible until they're actually done. Quote from Mass Effect 2 by Aquarian. But no less true. Many things are impossible until they're actually done. Everybody laughed at the Wright brothers and told them they were full of shit, that they were high, they were on drugs. But now look at the 747s flying in the air. And the Wright brothers were high and on drugs. And Amelia Earhart, the first woman to fly around the world and not make it. So they say. So, who has a better chance to get into heaven? The honest man who believes in God but doesn't go to church? The charlatans, the liars, the heathens that go to church and cause all the problems in the world to begin with? The preacher, the priest, the Catholic fucker that's fucking children in the ass when they're supposed to be guiding them closer to God. But now you gotta have kids traumatized. No child of mine will go to a church until I meet the preacher. And when I meet the preacher, I mean I'm gonna spend the night with that preacher. And if he can live with me and all my sins and my cussing and not judge me and preach the good word to me and let me sit here and listen and accept his knowledge, his guidance to God, then my kids can come to his church. But they ain't coming without me. When church begins, I'm going to be there. When church ends, I'm going to be there. And no, hell no. My child's not being an altar boy or girl, depending on whatever child God decides to give me. Because I'm not going to trust anybody with my child if they can't be trusted in the house of the Lord. You can't trust people in the house of the Lord. You can't trust nobody nowhere. You can't trust people who go to church if their main focus in life is to cause problems for other people. Now, I'm sure a lot of you people that go to church are looking at me and saying, James, you're a motherfucking asshole. I'll be that. James, you're a lying sack of son of a bitch. Really? Look in the mirror. What do you do after you leave church? Do you go off and cause people problems? Do you go piss on people's tires? Do you let your animals shit in other people's yard and not clean it up? Do you treat your neighbor the way you want to be treated? Because there is a part in the Bible that I do remember called the neighbor. When everyone passed that one little guy who got his ass kicked or something happened to him. He got fucked up. Yeah, I said he got fucked the fuck up. But nobody would help him. Then somebody helped him. I don't remember who it was, but somebody helped him. Or let me throw you back to whatever city where the good Lord told somebody, run from this city as fast and as far as you can because I'm going to destroy it. And if you or your wife or your kids look back, I'm going to turn you into a pillar of salt. And that happened to them. But the father kept going because he had faith in God and he kept going. His family, not so much, because they looked back and they turned into a pillar of salt. And you guys who are going to church and reading the Bible, y'all know exactly who the hell I'm talking about. I don't know the man's name. I don't know the city name. But I know the fucking story. Which kind of counts. Just a little bit. Because I might be a douchebag full of dick tips. But I'm an honest douchebag full of dick tips. And I own my shit. I have asshole moments because I am an asshole. And again, I own my shit. I don't fake shit. I don't run around lying. I do everything that I possibly can. Yeah, I may look up to the sky and think about how I'm going to answer this question. But I'm going to answer it as honest as I possibly can. Or as honest as I know how much you can take of it. There's a bunch of people out here that don't know honesty. And they would rather lie to you than tell you the fucking truth. I would rather tell you the truth and just get this shit out the way. Yeah, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt a whole fucking lot. But it's out the way. It's over. It's done. You ain't got to worry about it no more. You ain't got to bring it back up because I fucking told you the truth. Did I omit shit? Maybe. If I didn't think you can handle it, yeah, I'll leave it out. You'll have to figure the rest of it out on your own. I will give you just enough of the truth that if you can't take that and run with it, then you need to go ask somebody else who's involved. And why do I do this? Because it's better for you to know most of the truth than none of the truth. Right? And like I said, most people can't handle the truth. You might tell somebody the truth and they might drop the fuck dead from the shock of knowing what the fuck the event was. So, simple yes or no as true answers. I don't know. It's a true answer. No. And those three right there are the main answers that you can really give somebody. You don't really have to give them an explanation. If you don't know, you don't fucking know. There's not a crime in not knowing an answer. You just don't fucking know. You don't have that knowledge. It's not for you to tell them, sure, if you don't have that knowledge, because that sure was a bald-faced lie. So why I say that? Can you go buy me some flowers? I'm sorry. If you look at these pockets, those are keys. There's nothing in these pockets. What the fuck I'm gonna buy you flowers with? My looks? Well, hell, that ain't gonna work because I'm ugly as fuck. So, therefore, you won't be getting any flowers. Tell the truth. No. There are things in this world that we hide, we change, we deny. And why do we do this? Because 9 times out of 10, most people can't handle the truth. The truth doesn't always mean full eye contact. Some people just can't look people in the eye. Also, when most people can't look you in the eye, especially in a job interview, it's pretty much a given that you might not be getting that job. Because they might look at you like, I really don't want to hire this ugly motherfucker. Whether he can work or not, we don't care, but he doesn't look like everybody else, so maybe we shouldn't hire him. Yes, I've been a victim of that. I have been a victim of, I signed black and they asked me if I'm sure. Now, here's the thing on life. Life works funky, and we need to clean it up. First, we need to grow up. First, we need to accept responsibilities for our actions. And that's like the hardest thing to do for some people. People don't want to tell the truth. People don't like the truth. Know why they don't like the truth? Because they don't want to admit when they fucked up. That's when people don't want to tell you the truth. When they fucked up, and they don't want to admit that they fucked up, there you go. You know they're going to come up with some kind of elaborate lie. This thing about the preacher that raped a kid last week. It was on the news, like Saturday or Friday or whenever, before this fucking whole thing with my town, this Ku Klux Klan thing came to pass. It's not the first one. It's only like the second or third one that's been caught and outed and publicly acknowledged. And this one is actually supposed to be one of those people who are closer to the Pope. Let me explain something to you. I said this at the beginning of the very first video. I said it somewhere in this video. If I remember correctly. I could be wrong. I might not have said it in this video. I might have said it in the one before this or the one before that. We know that I said it. So I'm going to say this one more fucking time before I exit out of here. If you are not safe in the house of God, by the people of God, you are not safe anywhere. So, that being said, I'm going to try and close this out with just a little bit more. Just a little bit more sauce for you to put on your potatoes and cream. You got to understand something. We're all human. We're all flawed. None of us are perfect. Not every one of us is beautiful. And sometimes, just sometimes, you're like me. You got beat with the ugly stick from the ugly tree. And you got beat by every branch. And you got beat by the stupid stick from the stupid tree in every branch. And then you got thrown back into the air. And they hit a home run with everything about you that you don't want to admit. Now, here's the thing on that. Before my face got back to what it is now, I used to think I was ugly. Some people still think I'm ugly. Well, guess what? I'm proud of my ugliness. I'm ugly and proud because I could be a lot worse because I have burnt all of this off before. Not trying to go through that shit again. Plus, I don't have health insurance or a real job. So let me put it to you this way. I'm gonna close out with this right here for all you people who are going to church, who are believing in God, and then you turn back around from Monday to Sunday. Sin, 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 sin. until you can't sin no more. But I promise you, when I leave this world, it ain't gonna be a whole lot of bad things people can say about me. But this is one of the things that they can say about me that I will be proud of. They will look at me in my casket before they put me in that fucking oven and cremate my shit. They will say, that James Williams Jr., he was a kung fu kicking, truth telling son of a bitch. And he told the truth as best he could. He didn't go around causing problems. And he died. He didn't have no success in life, but he tried. He's going to burn when he gets to the other side. But the one thing we know for sure is that he could cuss his ass off. There ain't going to be a whole lot more they can say about me. They're going to say I was cocky. Yeah, I'm a little cocky. I ain't going to lie about that shit. I've been fighting since I was 6 years old. Only person that ever really whooped my ass has been my big sister. Yeah, I got my ass kicked by a girl. Deal with it. She's beat my ass every fucking day. Because she could. And just for purposes of thought, the windmill is dangerous. All the kung fu in the world couldn't prepare me for that shit. Now, I will tell you, a good run is better than a bad stand. And they will tell you that James, depending on who you talk to, was a coward. He talked a lot of shit. He never really fought. He could have never been in the MFC or the UFC or any of those other things. And they will tell you that he could kick your ass. And why would they say that? Because most of the people that talk bad about me are the motherfuckers that know they talk that shit, but they never showed up to fight. Ever. And I was at many a parks waiting for people who threatened to beat my ass to show up. Y'all fuckers know who you are. For those who still live in Charlottesville, you know exactly who the fuck you are. And I still waiting on those ass whoopings that was promised. All of them. Bring it on. I got wounded animal syndrome now, so I can kill you, and it ain't gonna be a fucking problem when we go to court. There's a big ass scar on my ass cheek, and I was also in the army, so it's not gonna take that much for me to kill you, and it ain't gonna be no worries. Now I'm going to a military jail if I got anything to say about it, because civilians do too much. So in closing, before I go, and that's some of the shit they gonna say, they definitely gonna call me a coward. They're gonna call me a coward, but they would not fight this coward. They're gonna call me an asshole. They're gonna call me a motherfucker. They're gonna say that I said things that I didn't say. Or I said them and I forgot them. Which is generally true. I generally do forget a lot of shit that I say. I had some concussions when I was younger. But I also purposely trained myself to forget shit so that I can't lie about it. They're gonna say a lot of things about me. Some good, some bad. All I want you to do is just tell the fucking truth. Yeah, I'm not a saint. Yeah, I cuss a lot. Yeah, I wasn't a racist. Yeah, I wasn't prejudiced. I just had a preference when it come to the women that I date. White girls were cool. Asian girls were the favorites. Black girls tried to get me killed. Now you see why I don't date them. Now, some of y'all gonna take that as a racist statement. Hey, feel free. I lived it. Would you like me to tell you the girls' names that fucked me up when I was only after black chicks? It's not for me to say. Just know that it was in Smithfield. And that's all you're gonna get from me. It was in Smithfield. Yeah, the place where Gwaltney ham and bacon and shit come from. My dad's hometown. 2 girls there is why I don't date black chicks. So you're gonna say, James didn't date black chicks. Hey, like I said, 2 girls there ruined me for black chicks. Simple as that. And I'm not saying there's bad black chicks out here. I'm just saying they're not for me. And if you date black chicks, hey, it's not my place to pass judgment. Who the fuck am I? I'm nobody. Now, unlike the damn guy who said he was nobody and killed the Cyclops on the island, of course we all know him as Odysseus or Ulysses. Same damn thing, don't ask me why. I didn't write the Greek mythology book. They're going to say that James tried really fucking hard and he failed. He was really good at 2 things in life. 3 if you count Kung Fu before the army. He was good at failing. He was good at Kung Fu. And he was good at pissing people the fuck off. Because that's what I do. But he owned his shit. So all the bad shit they're going to say about me, hey, it's cool. I own everything I do. I don't do drugs. I'm not a homosexual. I don't hold anything against anybody that's homosexual. I support them, because they're braver than us normal people, or if you want to call us normal people. And I tell the truth. You might not like it, but you got one thing about the truth that you can't escape. You can't escape the truth, because the truth's going to come out. It's not going to be the greatest thing. It's not going to be a very pretty thing, but it will be the truth. It will be an inevitable, unavoidable bolt of fire and hell, but it will be the truth. So know this, as you are looking at my videos and judging me and calling me all kinds of assholes and whatever and whatnot. That's cool. You're entitled to your opinion. I can't hold it against you, whether you're black, white, Asian. It doesn't make a fucking difference. You're still a human. So, in closing, the truth does not always set you free. The truth does hurt more often than it doesn't. But it is inescapable, and it is the truth. I'm James Williams Jr., this is Comfort Habit number 2. The end.